This is the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are here once again, going over Raw, going over some rumors. It's another episode of the Scoop Slam Podcast. I'm coming to you now, 21 years old. It was my birthday this past weekend, so we're going to talk about that a little bit too. And some big AEW news has come out. Regarding Mr. Phil Brooks, a personal favorite on this show. But before we get too far into anything, I want to present our co-host. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah.
Always great to be here with you, man. Ready to scoop it, slam it, and get into a little AEW rumors and news.
We'll wrap it up and put a bow on it.
Of course. Well, are we
Signing off right now?
No, not yet. We got a little bit of Raw and some other mess to get through first.
About to say, you cut my segment, brother? What did I run?
Sorry, this mustache guy just handed me this script and said we got to cut this segment out.
Those bastards.
Well, as I mentioned earlier, and as we talked about a little bit on the last episode, this was my 21st birthday this past weekend. So me and the wife and a good buddy of mine that works down at Disney went down for my 21st birthday, and it was a good time. We went Friday and Saturday. So Friday we did Animal Kingdom and Epcot, and oh my God, my feet had blisters on blisters. It was, man, that's a lot of walking. I looked at my iPhone. We did 20,000 steps in one day.
Geez, what is that, like 8 miles?
Something like that. You're better with math than me, probably.
No, not at all.
Oh, not at all, bro. You the one working on like important government stuff at your job. I mean, I'm just a lowly old retail employee.
Hey, well, that's how we met. Don't hate on the retail employees.
You're right. Well, am I hearing this right? You went to Epcot and you didn't watch SmackDown on Friday?
Well, the time slips away.
Whoa, you didn't look your wife in her eyes and say, hey,
we can't go out tonight.
Hey, we got Friday Night SmackDown. You didn't say that, Micah? You didn't do that for the viewers, the listeners?
Well, we weren't reviewing it.
So that's your out, huh?
Oh, did you watch Dynamite? Exactly.
That's beside
the point, man. Okay, man. So, what's Saturday go like?
It was really good. We did Hollywood Studios on Saturday, and I will say on Friday we did the Avatar place, which is an Animal Kingdom. Blue Avatar, not Avatar The Last Airbender. And it was really cool. And I will say that if you like Star Wars or if you've ever seen any of them, that's something you should definitely check out, because just the immersion there is really cool. Like, all the people have to wear, certain costumes, and they have to talk a certain way. And even like the Coke bottles are custom for Galaxy's Edge. So it's just a really neat experience.
Yeah, do a good old time this weekend. Yeah. And now we're back to reality, talking about professional wrestling.
Yeah. What'd you do this weekend? You had a weekend off.
Man, it's kind of sad around.
Watch a little NBA playoffs. Watch a lot of NBA playoffs, actually. And, man, I just be kicking it for real.
Yeah. Well,
I just go
in NBA basketball. I'm not going to lie to you, Mike. There's games every single hour on the weekends.
Well, let me ask you this, because if you haven't picked it up by now, we're both Laker fans. Well, you're a LeBron fan. I'm a Laker fan.
Yeah, I'm a Lakers bandwagoner.
Yeah. Wherever he goes, you go. But if it's not the Lakers as your favorite, who you think is going to win it this year?
I got a soft spot for
the Kings, man. I want them to go far. If we lose, which I don't think we will lose in the first round, I kind of want the Kings to shock everybody. They've been a poverty franchise for a long time.
Oh,
They
God.
missed the playoffs for 18 straight years, and this is their first time back in the playoffs. So I want them to do some good things. They
Light
got
the
a very
beam.
likable team. Light the beam, bro. Just light it. And get those dirty, no good Warriors out of here.
Oh, man. You ain't got no love for Steph.
No, Steph's okay, but Draymond's a bum. Get him out the league.
Okay, I need you to explain to me what happened the other night because I wasn't watching. Did he really step on Domantas Sabonis?
Bro, straight
Curb stomp. You would think Seth was out there. Or he just, like, you know what Finn Balor's finishing move, right?
Yeah.
The coup de grace. You would have thought he was Finn Balor from the top rope, bro. Domantas Sabonis just trying to cover his head up from that wild man Draymond Green. And then Draymond does those unbasketball-like theatrics and stomps on Domantas Sabonis' chest. And then he blames it on Sabonis. Man, that piece of garbage. And then he tried to play Hulk Hogan on the sidelines while they were reviewing the play, riling up the crowd, cuffing his hand to his ears. Man, like a clown out there. I hate Draymond.
So what did he like score and he kind of like stomped, kind of like that one time Harden, like, you know, swung his arm and like punched the ref or something?
No, that was Ron Artest. He's celebrating the and one, and he accidentally elbowed Hart.
Oh, okay.
But no, Draymond and Sabonis were battling for a rebound, and I guess they got tipped out, and neither one of them got it, and they both came to the ground because they were still like locked arms and stuff, and Draymond kind of fell on Sabonis, and from a certain angle, it may look like Sabonis grabbed Draymond's but leg. Okay, that's fine. That's not a basketball play either, but it certainly didn't deserve a coup de grace from Draymond to Sabonis' chest, man. It's an unbasketball-like play.
Well, I don't know. I didn't see it, but I know he's out for the next game. But light the beam. I'd be all right with the Kings winning, but it would be kind of funny if once again they had their great team in Sacramento and the Lakers were there to cut them back down.
Yeah, I would hate
that. But yeah, if we lose, man, Sacktown. I'm a bandwagoner. Bandwagoner? Yeah. I'm a bandwagon fan for Sacramento if Los Angeles loses.
Well, earlier you mentioned your weekend being taken up with NBA basketball, but there might be something else taking up your weekend here in the future, and we'll go ahead and segue to our rumors part of the show. AEW Collision is reportedly a new show that AEW is looking to debut on Saturdays. This is a report from Wrestle News Co. It was originally reported by Andrew Zarian of the Mat Men podcast in March that AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery were closing in on a deal to add a third AEW show similar to Rampage, indicating an hour series, and teased it could air on Saturday nights. AEW did recently file for the trademark AEW Collision, and AEW recently nixed a Rampage event from Friday, July 14th and added a TV event on Saturday, July 8th from Regina, Saskatchewan. To follow that, which we will get to this after, but in a whole different airspace, CM Punk is returning to the promotion reportedly, with the tentative date supposed to be June 21st, AEW Dynamite in Chicago. And AEW is toying with the idea of having Punk and his ilk on Saturday, and the Bucks and their ilk on Dynamite. So let me get Zarian's official word. So he said it looks to be
He's good too.
What? Say that again.
He's good. He's always
Reliable for those TV information stuff.
Yeah. That's why I don't. I'll get into my thoughts. Hold on, let me finish this, and then we'll talk about it. This is his words from his podcast. Here's what I understand. This show looks to be starting on June 17th in Chicago, a Saturday night show. I'm hearing it's a 2-hour show from 8 to 10 Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. They may be preempted some days. I don't know. That's just me interjecting based on how these things work. I also believe this is going to be on TNT. So that makes it even harder. So I'll let you take the ball on this one first. What do you think? Because there's a lot to unpack. I'll say hold the CM Punk stuff for later because we're going to talk about that by itself. But a new show for AEW on Saturdays on TNT, especially.
Terrible, man. Terrible
Time slot. Michael, you just got to think, how much is this going to get preempted? Like, there's no way this stays on Saturdays throughout the year. There's going to be times this gets preempted because there's a lot of like live sports that happens on Saturday for TNT. Don't they have a contract with the NHL or
NBA.
I know they have one for NBA. I don't know about NHL
or March Madness? What about March Madness?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah,
And a 2-hour show? Do they really need that when they already got Rampage? What do we have Rampage for then?
And Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor too, but nobody's
Watching that. But you got
Rampage on
Friday. Why not just scrap Rampage?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that make more sense?
I would think so, but maybe have it, well, I don't know, because there's a couple things that are weird here. Are they going to do it on Saturdays live?
That's a great question. It has to be, right?
I don't know, unless they did it like Rampage now. Well, that would only be if they nixed Rampage.
When would they tape that?
Yeah. Unless they did live Dynamite, live Rampage with a taped Collision after.
That would defeat the purpose,
would it not?
I mean,
if you got a major show, wouldn't you want that to be live and have Rampage be the one that's taped?
Yeah, I guess that's true. And I left out a part of this too. Apparently, there's different rumors coming out, but I think Zarian also reported that they're going to be doing a soft brand split. But then reports came out that it was going to be a hard brand split. And then Brian Alvarez said, no, it's going to be soft. And then the next day came back and said it was going to be hard. Pause.
Is it going to be hard or soft, Michael? Jesus.
Well, ask Mega how she likes it. I'm sorry. That was a low blow.
Come on now. But the brand split thing is kind of crazy timing considering we're about to get a brand split or a draft on the other show.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that does a lot for WWE in terms of changing the landscape, but
they need some freshening up.
But AEW with a brand split,
they would have to.
Wouldn't the whole layout of the champions have to change? If that happens, would they need a champion for one show, or are we doing a traveling champion? There's still a lot of stuff we don't know.
And they have 2 mid-card titles. So, I mean, one could go to each, but like you said, are they going to have a world champion now and a world heavyweight or something like that? Are they going to split the tag team titles? Split the trios?
They got the 2 women's titles.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I guess we got it out
there, but I don't know, man. That doesn't seem like a smart idea to split the rosters like that. Do we have that much talent that we can afford to split the rosters?
Oh, they definitely have the amount of talent for a draft. They have a ridiculous amount of talent.
Is there really a lot of guys you want to see, though, Micah?
Well, the thing that I thought about was, one of our complaints about AEW is you like somebody, it might be 4 weeks until you see them again. This may allow for the same guys to be seen more frequently, but in what capacity? Because, I mean, if this show is getting preempted every week, you can't expect the ratings to be great, and you can't expect the ratings to be great on a Saturday anyways.
It's going to be awful.
Because, bro, that's when that's when they air a bunch of new stuff is on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Well, what about college football season?
That's gonna get slaughtered
Yep.
on Saturday nights. What about the WWE pay-per-views on Saturday nights? That's gonna get slaughtered. It's not gonna. What we doing? 300,000 people on Saturday? Is that what we're gonna be able to do? Is that what we're shooting for?
I guess. I mean, that's what would probably be realistic.
And another thing, if it gets terrible viewers, how long before the Buckaroos, the Bucks, and the Elite start pointing fingers at who's headlining that show?
That's what I thought about too.
I mean, I don't know. You could put your tinfoil hat on, man, and wonder, but I don't know. Saturday's a big problem. And another element, Micah, who's booking this show? Is it Tony Khan booking this show?
I put a tweet out a couple days ago that said there is no way that Tony Khan can book 4 TV shows by himself.
My God. Well, I get burned out of booking on GM mode for 2 shows. I can only imagine him doing 4 shows in actual real life. There's no way. There's not enough snow in the world that can get me through booking 4 shows, man.
Yeah, I don't. This is the time to start a booking committee. If he's gonna do it, this is the time. But it's not gonna happen because you know how it is.
Crazy thing about it. They got a lot of smart minds on the AEW side.
Yep.
Jeff Jarrett, man, he's apparently doing some big things for the house show business in AEW.
Hey, they're coming close to our neck of the woods in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Stay tuned. Scoop Slam might be booked.
We might have to pop in, say hey to FTR.
Ain't going that far. We'll pop in to see Hobbs.
Oh well. After what happened tonight, I don't think you're gonna want to see much of him anymore.
Wait, what? let me. Okay, don't tell me anything. I wanna figure it out on my own, man. Let me watch it live or on tape delay later on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll leave you to watch it. But anyways, we'll go ahead and segue to the Punk stuff because I mean that's really tied in with all this. So this is from Fight Fans.
They would be.
Well, it's a good question. I don't know. Hey, you're the one that sent me this article. Anyways, CM Punk has seemingly been on the outs with AEW and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks for some time, but things may have just changed. One of our sources has indicated that not only is Punk willing to come back, which is something that SRS and Fightful reported, but the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega are willing to work with Punk now. TK also giving offer of improved contracts to Omega and the Bucks shortly too. Punk open to storyline ideas with the Elite.
That makes sense. He's dangled the new contract in front of their face to get them to work with Phil Brooks.
So there's a bunch of stuff that's came out about it, and I've heard the opposite. I've heard Kenny is willing to work with them, and the Bucks are not. And I've heard that he's going to start working with Jericho when he comes back.
Oh, God.
Yeah, you predicted it.
Oh, man, I was just... I didn't mean it for it to happen. I didn't wish it into existence.
Nope. You dug this bed. Now you're going to lie in it.
Come on, man.
I'm
not surprised. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I guess that's true, but I obviously, if this is your first time listening to the program, I'm a big Punk fan, and I have very much awaited his return, and I think that bringing him back is the right idea. However, this is going to be stupid if they're like, okay, Punk, you come in on Saturday, and Matt and Nick, you guys can come in on Wednesday. I get it. You guys fought. NBA players fight. wrestlers have fought in the past. Football players fight. I mean, come on now. Matt Hardy and Edge worked a program after Lita cheated on Matt with Edge.
Yeah. That's true.
So, I mean, at what
But
point do
come
you
on.
grow up and be men and settle this?
I think they want a public apology, man. I think that's what it's going to take. And I
Okay.
don't think Phil Brooks is able to do that.
I don't know. I can't say.
I don't just knowing or listening to all the stories about him out there. He's a very proud man, and he believes what he says. And you think he's going to apologize to the Elite, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks? Which I think the problem is with the Young Bucks. I don't think he has a problem with Kenny, because I heard that him and Kenny or Kenny was just the guy in the middle trying to break up everything when Brawl Out happened. So I don't know, man. I can't see CM Punk apologizing to the Bucks.
And I heard something too that Omega thought it was kind of what's the word I'm looking? Maybe blown out of proportion. He was kind of just like, this is like locker room stuff. Like, okay, it happened. Let's move on.
Probably not the fight. It's probably the fact that he buried all of them in front of everybody. That's probably the thing that got everybody mad, which is understandable, Micah. I mean, you want your coworker going to the corporate meeting and just burying you in front of everybody? No, you wouldn't like that.
I mean, no, but tell him when he's telling lies.
Yeah. That's not the point. The point is he embarrassed the company when he did that, man. The boss was right there beside him, too.
Yeah, but Tony didn't stop him.
What was he supposed to do?
Tell him, okay, that's enough. All right, let's. This interview is now over for CM Punk. We're gonna pack it up.
You expect Tony Khan to do that?
No.
He looks at Punk like it's his idol.
But do you think that's the first time Tony's ever heard what Punk's saying?
Probably not. But it's different when God and everybody's watching him bury the biggest babyface in the company with Hangman Page and bury the EVPs right there in front of everybody. I mean, that's disrespectful to your boss and disrespectful to the company. I can see why the locker room doesn't want him back, unless there's a caveat that he apologizes to everybody.
Well, we don't know that he hasn't.
I mean, there's a reason why they want him on the Saturday show.
Well, okay. Apparently, he has tried to negotiate meetings to alleviate things with, like, Alvarez said something the other day, which I don't like nor trust him or Dave at this point. But he said something that there was a meeting with Punk and Jericho, and FTR was the middle ground party. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the scope of this. Obviously, we're not backstage, but I would think that if Punk is trying to set up meetings and he is coming back, because apparently that is locked in, that he's coming back. They told Warner Brothers Discovery that he's coming back. You've got to figure out a way to make this work. You can't separate the guys forever. Because what happens, like I was telling you, what happens with the world title? What happens on pay-per-views? I mean,
it complicates things.
That's another thing too with the Saturday show. What are they going to do with pay-per-views?
We'll have to go strictly to Sunday. And how big are those cards going to be? Jesus Christ! My God, might be having a Sunday and a Monday pay-per-view, man.
Well, but they won't run on Sundays because of the NFL.
What do we do? We run on Thursday?
Oh, God.
On that day, too.
They should put Collision on Tuesdays, in all honesty.
Maybe they just don't run any pay-per-views during the NFL season.
I mean, I think they only have one Full Gear.
Oh, okay, yeah. They can probably have just like a super dynamite show.
Yeah, that sounds good. Arthur Ashe.
he's gonna sell 10,000 tickets just like last year.
Yeah. Hey, well, they apparently have a pre-sale for that Wembley Stadium show for $40K.
Is it a pre-sale? I thought it was
Early
yeah,
sign
you might
up
be
or
right.
whatever.
Yeah. Early sign up. Yeah, I don't think any tickets been sold. I don't know.
Well, I mean, overall, I think Punk coming back is a positive thing. I don't know. And the thing is, it's hard to talk about it on the podcast because we're kind of saying the same stuff we've been saying forever, except there's a couple new folds added in. But at the same time, it's like, who is telling the truth in this story? That's the biggest caveat to everything.
Yeah.
You never know who is telling the truth because anytime something positive comes out about Punk, Dave and Alvarez are right there to say, "Oh no, he's this way and this way and this way," and then Dax is like, "Well, he really wants to come back."
Who's feeding them the information? We know FTR is best friends with Punk, but who's Alvarez and Dave Meltzer from Wrestling Observer? Who are their inside guys? I think it's Jericho.
It's got to be Jericho. You sent me a video the other day that I was dying at. I watched it on the way home, and Alvarez was like, "There was a meeting between Punk and Jericho and Tony Khan and FTR, and now Punk is calling Jericho a stooge, and he's assuming something again." Okay, well, I can tell you that Punk didn't tell Alvarez about it. I can tell you that FTR didn't. I would hope to God that Tony Khan's not. So that leaves one party in here that I think might be telling them.
Well, I mean, it could be Tony Khan.
Imagine
Would
he's
you be
just
surprised?
stirring up all the rumors and bull crap to the newsletters.
He's doing it unintentionally. He's just trying to make everybody happy.
I can definitely see it.
Yeah.
But you know, I'll be looking forward to AEW in June.
Yeah, it's good that they're bringing him back, man. I'm not a big fan of Punk the person, but Punk the wrestler, he's one of the greatest of the generation. So we got to give him his flowers there. It'd be great to have him on any show, but yeah, he's got to do something about that mouth though, buddy. Pause. But
he's got an uphill battle to fight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know, man. He's been the best thing in AEW to me personally.
MJF, really?
Well, he's right there with him.
Okay. Yeah, you got a point.
Well,
whoa, you tell me you didn't like Orange Cassidy? His All-Atlantic run?
God. He's defended that thing 18 times now. He's on the show every week.
I mean, I like it, man. Whenever he's on, I can go to the bathroom. I can go get some food.
I can make sure to skip this 30 minutes of AEW Dynamite.
Oh, yeah, it will be 30 minutes, too. It never fails.
Because, oh my God, that's another topic for another time. We'll probably talk about it this freaking Wednesday because I'm sure he's on the show. But speaking of,
what?
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, speaking of Wednesday and AEW Dynamite, this past Dynamite that we didn't get to talk about because we were on vacation, Jeff Hardy returned to much fanfare, and I know we, much like Mr. Punk, have differing opinions on Jeff Hardy and his return. You know, I thought it was good. I honestly thought it went better than his debut, and he looked good, and to me, he moved better than he has been. So we'll see.
Whoa. It felt just like his debut. What did they do differently?
He didn't dance when he came down the entranceway.
But other than that, just because he didn't do his little jig, but he did the same thing. He just came out to help Matt.
Yeah, but he had a painted chair this time.
Now that you mention that, of course. Well, how couldn't I have seen that, Micah? Jesus. Yeah, man, I don't know. Jeff Hardy back in 2023, it just doesn't interest me in the slightest, especially on the circumstances of him leaving AEW the first time. Michael, he could have killed somebody. And then you just bring him back. Like nothing
Well,
happened. Boom. Nobody cares about Jeff Hardy in 2023.
hey, you watch it. He's got one fan, and he's right here.
Matt and you are the
Matt.
only ones.
Hey, man. I'm not going to excuse what he did, obviously, because it was horrible, and it was wrong, and he shouldn't have been doing it. But, I mean, I'll pop for Jeff Hardy in 2023.
Bro, it's very polarizing when you read the comments online about like Jeff returning or Jeff doing anything now, because I don't know, man. I feel like he lost a lot of fanfare with this latest BS he pulled. Because, I mean, Micah drinking at 9 in the morning, getting a car when his license is suspended, and then refusing rehab from WWE to start with. Like, this all could have been prevented if he just went to rehab for WWE.
But, well, maybe he didn't relapse in WWE.
What? So he just relapsed in a 2-month span.
Well, it just happens like that.
It could happen, but still, man, I don't know. When it's a repeat offender like Jeff, and then he ends up in hot water in AEW so soon after his debut, it's just like, man, Jeff, you could have prevented all this just 3 months earlier by doing the right thing. I mean, WWE has been around him for most of his adult life. I'm sure they know when stuff is not right with Jeff. They didn't just come out the blue and say, hey, man, go to rehab. I'm sure they had reasons. I'm sure they saw him backstage. And even that live event that he walked out on, that was kind of erratic. That never got explained. We still don't know why he did that.
I honestly think he just wanted to be with his brother.
That makes no sense. So you give up $1 million contract to go be with your brother? Does Jeff care about money? Does Jeff care about being a professional?
I don't.
That's not what professionals do.
I honestly don't think he cares about money. I listened to his episode of the Talk is Jericho podcast, and he kind of just, he talked like he was just treading water in WWE, and like he felt like he kind of got back popular again when they did the Survivor Series thing with him a couple years ago. Was he like the lone survivor or something?
He did, and Seth beat him in the end. He did get a big reaction, but man, I know you love Jeff, so you would never admit it. But Jeff has been cooked for years now, so I can understand why WWE didn't trust Jeff and giving him a major singles title run. They gave him a U.S. title run when he came back. Did he want a world championship run? There's no way.
I don't know.
He cannot go in the ring like he used to.
I also think that Jeff knew his internal clock was ticking and they need to cash in on a Hardy Boys run now.
Oh, no, stop it, because they did like 2 or 3 of them in WWE.
No, I know that, but I think he wants to go out with his brother, and I think he knows that he has like tops 2 years left.
Now, you know, in wrestling, you never really retire.
I mean, yeah, but if there's one guy who like is gonna call it, I would hope that it would be Jeff after all these bumps.
Are you sure, man? I don't know. He might go out on a 25-foot ladder just at 75 years old doing a swanton bomb. Man, I don't think Jeff will ever fully retire.
Well, time will tell. I don't know. Let me say this too. For the argument that you have against Jeff, that can also be pointed at Jimmy Uso.
No, not Jimmy Uso. What did Jimmy Uso do?
He's got DUIs.
Yeah, he never refused rehab.
Well, he's got multiple DUIs. So if you're like, oh well, Jeff could have killed somebody, so could Jimmy, and he's
Jimmy didn't refuse. Jimmy didn't refuse rehab.
Did they offer?
He say, I'm not going. Yes. He went. They sent him there.
And he did it again, didn't he?
And they gave him the SmackDown Tag Champions.
Exactly.
Look, man, it's not about
Get out of
so
here.
you're doing whataboutisms, man. Just focus on the topic at hand. Jeff Hardy, the piece of garbage Jeff Hardy. You know what, Jeff Hardy? Yeah, Jeff Hardy shows up to a pay-per-view high on God knows what, and almost he did kill the main event. Man, he went out there with Sting, supposedly the icon, the greatest WCW superstar of all time, and then Jeff Hardy goes out there high and erratic, and Eric Bischoff has man, it was a whole mess, man. You know it. So when it's a repeat offender like Jeff, I'm not turning a blind eye anymore.
How many DUIs Jimmy got?
Look, man, that's not the point, though. Jimmy don't show up to the event drunk. Jimmy don't drive at 8 a.m. drunk. And if he did, he never got caught. But that's not the point. Point is, Jeff is a piece of garbage, man. That's my closing argument.
I don't agree. I think he's a troubled soul who needs help, and his brother Matt is there to guide him now.
Oh, yeah. Matt's the beacon of hope, right? How many DUIs Matt got?
Does he have any?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, well, maybe he's better now.
He doesn't look better in the ring. Both of them look washed.
Matt's more cooked than Jeff, let's be honest.
It's like watching the late stages of the Bushwhackers at this point.
Oh,
they are
God,
not what they
come on
I'm just saying. Rest in peace, Luke. I think Luke did pass away.
Yeah, he did pass a couple weeks ago.
Okay, but still, it's not fun watching those guys in the ring in 2023. Unless Jeff's going to fall off something high, I just don't want to see the Hardy Boys.
Okay.
Respectfully, the boys are better.
That's a topic for another time. Let's see here. Jonathan Fatu arrested in 2011.
Oh, you got receipts, man. Come
at
on.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
for a DUI.
He was at the club. You know what happened.
Okay.
You ever been to the club, Micah? You
No.
get a little couple drinks in you. Okay, well, the bad example. What's the other charges?
2019, arrested in Detroit, Michigan after a dispute with police officers.
That was funny. But he wasn't even driving.
Yeah, and I don't think he was drunk.
No, he took off his shirt and tried to square up with the cop.
Really?
Yeah. Naomi was driving on the wrong side of a one-way street, and they got pulled over, and he was drunk already. I don't know if the police said something out the way to him, but yeah, he tried to, throw down with the police officer.
I'm gonna have to find that clip. And he was arrested a couple months later for a DUI in Pensacola at 3 a.m. And then...
Well, hold up now. Pensacola, so obviously he was doing something for the tribal chief. So you overlooked that one.
Can you imagine? Like, Roman's like, I know, Jimmy, but it must be done. And he's just like absolutely blitzed having to drive. We got sushi? That's what Paul Heyman says all the time. We got sushi in there for you guys? We got alcohol.
We got mahi-mahi. Yeah.
And in 2021, he was arrested again. What
month was that?
With a DUI. You said what?
What month was that? 2021.
July.
See, there you go, Micah. The world was coming back, and everybody was, taking off their mask, and everybody's having fun. So, sometimes your judgment wasn't at its best in July of 2021, man.
Interesting. Sure, well, I don't drink, so I can't say that the temptation is there for me, but I guess for some people, driving makes it more fun.
Yeah, your hero Jeff does it all the time.
Oh, come on. What a stark contrast, and like two of my favorite wrestlers of all time. You have like the troubled like Jeff Hardy who can never go a couple years without getting in trouble for it, at least in the past. Not that I'm trying to dog him about it. I'm just saying, the history is there.
Sounds like you're burying him.
No, I'm just saying it's been every couple years something has happened recently.
He has his demons. He has his demons.
Yeah. And then you have CM Punk who, like, he's just kind of a prick, but, like, doesn't have any drug issues.
Yeah, it is completely different sides of the coin there. At least my hatred of Jeff has been consistent because I have not liked him for a very long time.
Well,
I've done a complete 180 on CM Punk.
What soured you on Jeff?
Maybe in 2001 when Jeff and Matt broke up the first time. Jeff did this stupid swanton bomb off the steel cage and cost them a match, and I'm still heated about that. He could have won the match by leaving the steel cage, but no, he has to turn around and try to hit a swanton bomb off a 15-foot cage on Devon Dudley when he could have won the match for his brother. And then he made it seem like he was the victim afterwards. Yeah, you know what? Matt deserved to turn on him all them times. Jeff deserves it. He's a dummy. Inside and outside the ring.
Nah, I always held it against Matt when he hit Jeff with that chair and made Edge win the belt at Royal Rumble.
He did not have it coming. Micah?
No, he didn't have it coming. Matter of fact, Matt had it coming. He was mad because he got shackled with the ECW championship.
Well, he made that championship relevant. You and I know that.
That was Christian. Your other boy.
No love for Ezekiel Jackson?
Oh, God. What's he up to now?
Man, that theme was gas.
Hey. I can't lie. The theme was gas. Well, let's talk about some things that aren't gas. And that was Monday Night Raw, April 17th edition. Raw is recaps, Raw is rematches, however you'd like to phrase it. If this is your first time listening to the Scoop Slam podcast, we have our own way of reviewing. We got our scoops, we got our slams. Scoops are the positives, slams are the negatives. We'll get to the short and sweet of it. So to open up Monday Night Raw, your DUI boys, the Usos came out.
Let's preface this by saying that one of us watched the Hulu version.
Oh, well, Ryan, you didn't watch the whole thing?
Yeah, you gotta make me suffer through a 3-hour show, but you get to watch the hour-and-a-half version? Oh, no. At least next time tell me so I can watch the hour-and-a-half too.
It was a late decision. I turned the 3-hour version on last night, and, well, the sleep came knocking, and I answered.
Yeah. Just tell me next time, man.
All right.
So we can match up.
All right. Yeah. To open us up was the Usos and a sign that I caught that I thought was funny that have you ever seen that old WCW sign that says Goldberg eats corn the long way?
Yeah.
There was one in the crowd this time that said Brock eats corn. Brock was eating corn the long way.
Okay.
And right. So the Usos came out and Heyman, they were talking up, dealing with problems and this, that, and the other. And then the Judgment Day interrupts. And there's some tension there, obviously. They had a match a couple weeks ago for the belts. And Finn had that feud with Roman like last year. So basically they have a business arrangement that Solo is going to take out Rey. The Judgment Day is going to take out Sammy and Kevin Owens and Matt Riddle tonight in the main event. So for this segment, I'll let you start it off. You got any scoops?
I just thought it was a very intriguing stare down with Judgment Day and the Bloodline. I thought it was all right. It was good. I mean, Heyman does his thing on the microphone. I'm just happy that people are interacting with different people on the show. Thank God. It feels like we've been in a holding pattern for 2 months. Doesn't it seem like that, Micah?
I was going to ask you if it seemed like that. Like, it feels like the same people have been... And there's still elements of it too.
Yeah, but at least now we're switching it up a little bit. We got the LWO around. Matt Riddle's in there. We're not technically with the same guys, and people are interacting with different people, so makes it a little more tolerable.
And I think the draft is going to help that some too, because I don't know. With this show, I was like, man, this is just, it starts to feel like the same people every week. On Dynamite, you never see the same person again because you don't see them for 4 months at a time unless they're in a 30-second backstage promo. On God, yeah, or if it's Orange Cassidy or freaking Kip Sabian, you'll see him for 30 minutes every week. And then on Raw, it's just rematches and the same. There's an upper echelon, and then there's a rotating door of job guys. So
It's not as bad as how it was when Vince was fully in charge, as far as the rematches goes.
that's true. It is a little better. They're spaced out by like 3 weeks.
Let me ask you something.
No, Micah, before we move on, or before I ask you your scoops, because I don't know what you have for this segment. Who do you think would benefit from the draft more? Like, who do you think would benefit from switching brands?
One person that stands out. I got.
I'll let you go ahead, and I'll try and think of somebody.
I feel like Seth Rollins
has nothing else to do on Raw.
He's really feuded with
almost everybody on Raw, like Theory, Lashley, the Bloodline. He's babyface right now, right? So he can't feud with Sammy and KO. The Judgment Day, maybe? No, because they have something going on with Ray. Seth, man, needs a change of scenery. He needs some new opponents.
Yeah, that's right. See, I was going to kind of say the same thing about Bobby, but are they going to ever pull the trigger with the Hurt Business? Because if they are, then I would say, okay, well, keep him on Raw.
Oh, what happened to Omos?
Ain't seen him in 3 weeks, have we?
Well, he beat up Elias after WrestleMania, and I think that was it. I ain't missing him.
Oh no, I'm not
gonna. He gonna be on your show soon if he gets released.
Yeah. Oh, him and what's the Satnam Singh? That's the Wembley headliner right there.
Oh no!
Heck yeah!
God. No.
Be like Taker and Gonzalez at Caesar's Palace.
Who goes
over? Satnam.
Oh no!
You gonna make Omos do the job on his first match?
Yep, job him out. Sounds like an Eric Bischoff book production. Yeah, Tony Khan, if you want to sell out Wembley, put Punk versus Goldberg. Oh my God.
No. God, no. You know what? Yeah, do it. Do it and then squash CM Punk. That would pay for all his sins. He'll be welcome back in the locker room if he does that.
You just want Punk to get hurt by Goldberg. That's what it is.
Oh, I don't wish.
Heel on Phil Brooks.
For now. As long only if he would come back to WWE at some point.
He has to put over Brave.
Speaking of somebody who needs a change of scenery, yeah, a new job. Anyways, though, my scoop for this one, I thought kind of plays along with what we've been talking about. The Judgment Day was unexpected here. I wasn't expecting these two to, mix because they haven't for forever. So I did enjoy, like you said, a new a change up right before the draft.
I don't appreciate Rhea staring down Solo like that though.
That was one of my slams because what do you do with that?
Yeah, you're teasing something that you can't deliver.
Yeah, because is Rhea gonna fight Solo? No. So, am I expected to believe that Solo would be intimidated by her? Like, Rhea's big.
She big, but she ain't no Samoan, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Like, would I be
Like, we supposed to-
intimidated by her? Yes. But I'm like 5'8".
Solo Sikoa, bad A Samoan. I mean, come on, man. Are we supposed to believe that Rhea is his equal? Come on now.
Yeah.
Stop it. Don't do that. Don't force that, please.
Mm-mm. And even in the main event when she clotheslined Kevin Owens, I was like, it's a cool spot, but is it too much? Because like Owens inside out took that clothesline, and I was like, ugh.
That's a former world champion. You know, can you imagine Steve Austin taking a clothesline like that?
Yeah. Now, I mean, could China have clotheslined him? Yes. Would he have done a flip for it? I don't think so.
No. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Yeah. Do you have any other scoops, or do you want to move to the slams?
No slams. It was okay.
No. I had two other ones. Just this kind of meandered for a while with Heyman trying to figure out the direction of it, I guess. I don't know.
I got that for Trish later on.
Oh, but well, maybe it was different on the 3-hour version.
Yeah, I can see how it did. It did kind of drag a little bit.
And the last thing, and they kind of been doing this for weeks, and I've been meaning to mention it. I may have, and I just forgot. I hate we've got to deal with the Kevin Owens problem. Okay, so we'll just beat him on Monday Night Raw, and that deals with the problem.
Well, yes. Well, they have to beat him up so he doesn't show up the next week.
But they always show up the next week.
Well, I think they want to. I don't know, man. Didn't they try to break his neck that one time with a steel chair? That probably would have put him.
Okay, see, that makes sense, though. But, like, okay, so after this, there's a match, Ray and Solo. We'll get to it in a little bit. And then there was a segment after the fact. I really didn't write anything down for it. But Heyman was like, we dealt with Rey Mysterio. Solo just beat him in a match, and then they went to the back. I mean, there's a brawl after, but he didn't, like, concerto him or Pillmanize him or anything like that. He just, oh, yep.
There was a lot of brawls in the show.
Yeah.
You notice that?
And I didn't like all of them.
It kind of got a little old there at the end.
Oh, see, that wasn't even the one that I hated. But that was the only two things I had. And you ready to move on?
Yeah. Let's talk about the match.
Yeah. So that segued, like I said, to Ray and Solo Sikoa. Good match. I didn't hate anything about it. Ray still wows me that he can move like he can, and I thought it was a good showing for the young and up and coming Solo, plus a good win for him. That was one of my scoops. And to go ahead and round it out, my only other scoop was that the LWO got a pretty big pop, and I thought that was cool for them. So, other than that, you got anything?
I thought it was a really good match. However, I don't like that the LWO just got beat down like that, man. They have the numbers advantage.
That is one of my slams.
Yeah, the fact that Ray lost it's not gonna hurt Ray to lose to Solo.
Exactly.
Ray's icon. Yeah, any loss that he has, it doesn't matter. But Solo beating Ray it's nice because I mean he did lose that one match to Cody before WrestleMania, but he's building back some steam. I like Solo so far. Yeah, man, but just the LWO rushing the ring like that. And then just getting beat up anyway. Yeah. Okay, then. So they're a jobber faction, huh?
Yeah. That was my slam. They just look like a bunch of jabronis because there was 3 of them in the ring, and it was just Solo in the ring. And they huddled around Ray. And Solo, he kind of jumped on them, but he kind of, walked them down before they came over there. Like, you wouldn't have, Santos kind of standing there, looking at him. I get that they can't initiate the attack because they're baby faces, but you don't have to just sit there. I didn't like it.
You don't have to book your baby faces as idiots, as goofs. That's not gonna make me want to cheer them. Man, I thought that was the BWO out there for a second. They're
Oh,
taking a beat down. Man, I'm just saying, man. You got a new hot faction. You sell a lot of T-shirts, and then you get them laid out like that in the opening segment. Not a big fan of that. They kind of redeemed it later because they did participate in another brawl. So I look the other way, but still, that gets a slam right here.
yeah. And I will say that I saw a bunch of LWO shirts in the crowd this week. So hey, I mean it's working.
Yeah. Did you Somebody pointed this out to me online. So the original LWO shirt, it had the L lowercase. This one's capitalized. I just wanted to point that out. Little tidbit there, Micah.
I didn't even notice it
on the show. Yeah, I'm the analyst on the show.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, following that, another brawl. Not yet, but it would dissolve into one. Cody Rhodes came out, and he was kind of in his ring gear with a hoodie on, sweatshirt, whatever. And he starts to talk about he wants Brock out here right now. Adam Pearce interrupts him. Adam Pearce begs him not to get involved tonight because he's not medically cleared. He still calls Brock down. Well, yeah, he still tries to get Brock to come out. Adam Pearce is like, I need you to leave. Calls security guards. It dissolves into a brawl with Brock at the top of the stage staring as Cody beats up a bunch of security guards and he can't get to Brock. I'll let you go first for this one because I got some thoughts.
I like the visual of unhinged Cody because so far, man, his run, he's just kind of been cool, calm, and collected. Now it seems like, he has a different kind of edge to him, has a different side of Cody. Refreshing to see. I got one slam, though. It goes back to the Wardlow syndrome.
Yeah.
You're beating up 25 guys. Come on now. How am I supposed to suspend my disbelief? Is Cody John Wick? Is that who that is? I don't know about that. They may have overdid it right there as well. Yeah, man. What you got? Go ahead.
I think, honestly, this might have been my least favorite Cody segment since he came back.
You didn't like Brock with a duster on and a cowboy hat?
Hey, I did write, the only scoop I had for this segment was Brock Taker.
That was the only one?
That was the only scoop. I thought Brock's look was so funny. Like, it doesn't necessarily not fit, but the duster and the cowboy hat, and he just looked like Undertaker. I don't know. The visual cracked me up.
Well, let's be honest, Micah. If you're a backstage producer or agent and Brock shows up with that on, are you gonna say anything to Brock Lesnar?
Oh no. He can go out there looking like one of the new age rockers for all I care, and I'd be like, "Yep, looks great, Brock."
Did Trish and him shop at the same place, though?
Oh man, I didn't even think about that. But I mean, they're both Canadian. Might be a popular store up there in Saskatchewan.
That's right. I'm gonna buy me one.
Can you imagine me and you? And we'll pull up to the Huntsville show in duster. Well, they probably wouldn't let us in. That might look a little suspicious.
Oh no. Just in our casual Undertaker cosplay.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
For my slams, what's the whole not medically cleared thing about? I mean,
ribs. I saw you selling his ribs on the way out.
Oh well, you got a better eye than me. But when did that happen? Was that the Brock brawl? Because last week, correct me if I'm wrong, he cut a promo about Brock, but
he held his ribs the whole time. He was selling his ribs. Remember, he got F5 in the steel steps.
Interesting. Okay, well, maybe I'm just not paying enough attention.
Oh man, that was on that Raw you didn't watch.
You're right. Well, I remember that segment, but I don't know. I thought 2 weeks later, oh yeah, you'd be all right.
Bro, he legit beat him up for like 5 straight minutes. So I don't know. I don't know. It's I like that he's still selling the ribs, but the fact that he's not medically cleared, but Adam Pearce is just gonna send 30 security guards out there to wrestle him down. I don't know about that. That doesn't make a lot of sense, but
Well, that was my issue, and my final slam was Cody is the baby face. Why is he beating up security guards? I guess the same thing can be said for Wardlow, but I don't know. It kind of felt different to me when Wardlow did it, even though it ended up being rotten. But like, say if they were MJF security guards or those were Brock Lesnar security guards. But like, can you imagine John Cena beating up a bunch of security guards?
they were getting his way, and he wanted to get to a guy he really hated, like a CM Punk or an Edge. I can see him doing that.
I can't visualize John Cena beating up a bunch of security guards. Like, I don't know. Remember when Steve Austin got like handcuffed out of the building? That's something that I could see. But also, Austin was more of a rambunctious rebel babyface, where Cody and Cena are more of the like cut from the cloth of America and being the right person and doing the right thing.
Sure, but you know how Cena stuff got stale, man.
Well, yeah, but Cody ain't stale yet.
Well, if you keep on booking him like Cena, he will be. I don't have a problem with them booking him with an Edge, man. I don't. If he's just gonna be straight cookie cutter, white meat babyface, that's gonna get old real fast.
I mean, yeah, but then when it starts to get old, you can add in those wrinkles of, well, he's getting an edge to him. I just don't think it's old yet, so why? Because I even felt like the crowd didn't really know how to feel, which the crowd sucked all night, but I felt like the crowd was just kind of like, but also that's Wardlow syndrome.
We just we just came up with that phrase and we're just gonna run with it.
Well,
But yeah, you're right.
you know, we got our own phrases on here. Wardlow syndrome. We got jungle vacuum.
I told Jungle Taker.
Jungle Taker. Hey, both work. Brock Taker.
Okay. Brock Taker. Yeah. All right.
Mr. Brooks.
I'm with it. Mr. Brooks. That's more derogatory though.
No, that's not derogatory when I say it. I just think it's not funny because it's his real name, but I don't know. I just kind of think it's funny. Maybe it's just when you say it. But
I don't think this segment was that bad though, man. I think you've been a little too hard on this segment, and I don't know. I feel like you say this all the time in the last couple weeks with Cody about this is Cody's worst segment since he got back. I feel like you're projecting some of your hatred of the finish to WrestleMania on the Cody now, and nothing he can do is going to make up for it.
Well,
is that what you're doing here, Micah?
Somebody's got to take the blame for it, and Roman ain't here.
So you really don't dislike the segments. You just still dislike the finish. And so you're projecting your anger out on Cody. Is that what this is? What you're doing here? The biased journalism that you are, or journalist that you are.
Well, the shoe's fitting. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling Cody as much as I was. I was genuine, like, we weren't reviewing the podcast when Cody left, but I was at the top of the list of Cody haters. And then he won me back.
I think I was there too.
Exactly. That was before he left. You were a Cody hater,
okay.
But then when he left, when he left, I was a Cody hater. But and I mean, I don't know. He won me back, and his segments were good, and everything was clicking, and I was honestly ready for him to win the world title. And now,
but you seen Dustin's comments about it? Dustin Goldust, his brother, saying that he liked that they didn't give him the title right then and there because the chase is always more special.
I'd be pissed if my brother said that.
Well, man, you got to think about it though. Dusty Rhodes can you remember anything about his world title run? No, you can't. He had five of them, but they're not really memorable. The best part of Dusty Rhodes' career was when he was chasing Ric Flair and everybody in Florida who was feuding with. I don't know. I didn't follow the Florida territory, but yeah, man, it's always about the chase, Micah, and I feel like they're off to a good start with this Brock feud. I'm really enjoying this so far. We need to get Brock's side of the story because that he can't pull what he did with Bobby Lashley and not tell us why they're feuding the entire time they feuded. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far.
So next up, probably your match of the night, and honestly my match of the night too. Surprisingly, The Miz versus Seth Rollins, and honestly, I didn't write a ton for this one. The only scoop I had was I thought that when Seth did the splash off the top and Miz reversed into a roll up, it was really nice. But all in all, a really solid match that I was not expecting to really be anything. I don't know. I think Miz is kind of in Charlotte's level in terms of on TV. It depends, and I'll be good on pay-per-view, but like basically when they want to turn it on, they will, and when they don't, they won't. So, what'd you think about it though? Seth picked up the win, by the way.
Yeah, man, I love Miz. Miz can turn it on when he wants to. But okay, let me just start out by saying I did enjoy the match. I liked the match. Lifelong Miz fan. Seth is, he's a big star. He has a little sing-song thing that the crowd seems to like. But I don't know. Is the guy, because Seth is treated like a top star, right, Micah?
Mm-hmm.
So him going 15 minutes with somebody that got beat by Snoop Dogg in 20 seconds. How do you feel about that?
I thought about it on the way home.
Yeah. I love Miz, man, but they've been treating Miz like, he's incapable in the ring for a while now.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
Can you suspend your disbelief there?
Honestly, when I was watching this, I did. Because in the back of my mind, he's still a world champion, a former world champion. But when I think about it really hard, it's kind of like, But see, the same thing I was thinking about too is like Miz can pretty much always lose because he can always get his heat back on the mic.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. I guess in my disbelief mind, you chalk it up to he wasn't ready and he wasn't in ring gear.
2 days in a row, though, because he lost to McAfee the first night.
Well, but McAfee's actually a decent wrestler. Plus, George Kittle interfered. Come on now.
Okay, all right, yeah. Forgot about Kittle. He's an X factor there.
Yeah, I don't know. When you think about it really hard, but in my mind, like that's kind of some distant parallel universe. And when I see The Miz, I think former world champion. As crazy as that is to say by itself.
Okay.
So I see your point.
Yeah, if they're gonna so if you're gonna treat Miz like a talk show host, treat him as a talk show host, but don't put him in the ring with Seth Rollins for 20 minutes. Stick with one. I mean, is he gonna be a competent wrestler? Or is he gonna be, a jobber to the stars when they come in for a wave and a goodbye? I don't know, man. It was a good match. Good match.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Not too much else to say, but I do see your point.
Yeah.
It's just hard to find that line, I guess, sometimes with WWE, because at the same time, like this weekend, or not this weekend, but in a couple weekends, I'm sure Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny are gonna beat Damian Priest and Judgment Day. So it's like, where does Damian Priest go from there?
Well, I mean, you got to in Puerto Rico, man. They might storm the ring. I don't know.
So and it's the same thing with like if somebody loses to Logan Paul, like a couple years ago when Ray and Dominic, and well, my dog got pissed about mentioning Dominic. You know, does that mean that like Ray and them are chumps too? I don't know.
Yeah, it's if you can suspend your disbelief, there was nothing wrong with this segment or this match.
Yeah.
But if
Plus,
you
they've been.
like us, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say. Plus, they've been kind of going back and forth for a couple weeks, so that helped too. There is somewhat of a story built there.
There is, but it needs to be over very soon.
Oh, absolutely. Speaking of stories that are floating a little long, Sammy, KO, and Riddle were in the back, and there's not too much to really say about this. I just wanted to say that putting Matt Riddle in this feud has taken my interest level down significantly because I cannot stand him even now.
You know, I actually liked how they used him in this segment because he just said, you know, guys, I'm not an idiot. I know what the bloodline did to me. I feel like he dropped some of the goofy stuff that he does. You know, I like Matt Riddle in the ring. Sometimes his goofy stuff is a little too much, but I like that they kind of ventured away from that here. Because he is a legitimate threat, Micah. He could kick the bejesus out of everybody on the roster, maybe besides Brock.
I mean, he is a shoot UFC fighter and like had a decent record, so I don't doubt that, but I don't know. Him just wearing
You just don't like his voice, right?
that definitely doesn't help, but I mean, there's still elements of the silliness. That's mainly what bothers me, and just the whole 420 bro, and really just the usage of bro, the painted fingernails, the scooter. I just don't like.
Who's wearing painted fingernails?
It's like jarring. It just doesn't fit him. Like Jeff Hardy, okay, that fits. Why Matt Riddle though?
So how is Jeff? How does that fit? But Matt Riddle doesn't.
Because Jeff is a charismatic enigma, and he's got the tattoos and the paint and the colors and the.
You said earlier that Jeff was a laid back guy. You know, doesn't really care about the money and stuff. So you know, he's kind of a counterculture guy, and I can picture Riddle. He would fit that bill as well. So I mean, why not?
I don't know. Just if you're trying, I think he's got too many hats on. Like, are you trying to be a stoner esque guy, or are you trying to be an MMA guy? Are you trying to be a charismatic enigma? I don't know.
He's kind of like New Age RVD with more goofy. They lean in more into the 420 stuff more, which I don't. I know RVD did too, but I don't know. Maybe they wrote better material for RVD.
I think that's the biggest thing. Plus, I don't know. I think it's his cadence.
No, you know what? I know what it is, Micah. He wears no knee pads. Now, if you can't wear knee pads and you have no boots on either, that just looks weird, man. Looks like he's out there in his underwear.
You know, you might be right. It's like that picture of Triple H with no knee pads on, and it's really cursed.
You remember Cody had no knee pads?
Ugh,
I just did not want to see him wrestle.
I don't know. Like, RVD and him kind of talk the same too, but RVD kind of had more of a cool surfer guy. Like, yeah, man, that sounds great. Whereas Riddle's like, yeah, man, that sounds cool. Like, he just sounds slow. That's the best way I can put it.
Come on. He's from California, man. He's laid back.
Well, I was laid back. Oh, well, go ahead.
Well, you know what? No. What waves are RVD catching in Battle Creek, Michigan? Tell me that.
There's Lake Michigan up there.
Surf over there.
Yeah. They surf on the frozen lake. Well, speaking of laid down, I was laid down for this next match because I, like the crowd, could not have cared less about this. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley for the United States Championship, and it feels like I've seen this 18 times in the past year. So I don't know. I was kind of on my phone while this one was happening, but I did have two things. But I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't make note of anything in the match. I don't remember anything bad happening. I don't remember anything good happening. I did like how they used Reed here, though. He came in. We got a no contest with Theory and Bobby Lashley, which, I mean, they kind of had to. I mean, you couldn't book Bobby Lashley to lose, or you couldn't book Theory to lose, so they got out of it well. I don't know. Did this make did the Hulu version get the Bronson Reed video package?
No, I got the interference though.
Yeah, he got a video package earlier on the show, which is, well, I mean, it's about time they gave him a video package because he kind of just showed up one week. But yeah, man, I like how they use Reed on Monday.
I agree. I thought it was a good spot for him, and I'm intrigued by him and Lashley. I hope he goes over, honestly.
He needs it.
Yeah, there's two things I wanted to remark on because that was one of my scoops. Was I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
Austin Theory. I'm sorry. I think
Cena did more harm than good.
Well, I think he's just not him.
Wow. Are you giving up on him?
I'm afraid. I think he's in Gunn's category of he's good, but he's got a while to cook.
I don't think it's his fault necessarily. I just think they give him bad stuff to work with. Like what was the last feud he's had other than the Cena thing, which kind of made no sense because Cena wasn't there only 1 week. What was the last feud Austin Theory had? With Seth? What was that, 6 months ago?
Yeah.
I don't know. That one wasn't my favorite. And then he had a feud with Bobby before that, right?
Mm-hmm. And it feels like he defends against the same people constantly.
He does.
But what is that doing for anybody? In this match, per se, what did anything that they did do for him?
You know what? We talk about Seth Rollins needing the brand split. Not the brand split, but the draft. But Theory needs to get drafted too, man. He needs some new opponents.
But he's champion, so what are you going to do?
Just float Gunther over there. Yeah.
Put Gunther on Raw?
Yeah, Gunther's kind of ran through everybody on SmackDown.
Hey, well, you might be onto something. I would be down for that, actually.
I don't hate it. It gives them new dance partners to work with.
I hope this year, too, because Triple H said it was going to be kind of different. I hope they actually draft everyone and not 5 people and then just put the rest of it on WWE.
You want them to go through the whole roster and draft people?
Yes, honestly. It just makes much more sense in my mind. Have a match. I mean, you got 3 hours on Raw. Have a match, then do 10 picks for both shows. Then have another match. And then do another 10 pick. I mean, what? They have 30 to 40, maybe 50 per roster. You could do that one night.
I can't believe you just healed on Theory like that, man. That was supposed to be our boy.
I mean, I like Theory, don't get me wrong, but okay, let me ask you this, because this is what I was thinking to myself. Braun Breaker or Austin Theory, who do you genuinely see being a world champion before, or sooner?
Oh, Theory. Clearly, man.
You think so? By a long shot, though?
Probably not by a long shot, maybe a year or two before Braun Breaker, but I think potential-wise, I can see Theory becoming a bigger star than Breaker.
I can see it, man. I'm still not giving up hope. I'm still not. I can see it somewhere in there.
He's good. I don't know if it's the booking or
He needs
something.
new dance partners, man. He's stagnant on Raw. It happens. He needs an opportunity on SmackDown.
We'll see. I give him a shot. I think that's what they need to do though, because Gunther also needs new people.
He's like the total opposite of Theory at this point. Like you can see Gunther having a championship match with Roman Reigns believably.
Oh, absolutely.
But you can't really see that with Theory at the moment.
No. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention, and this really doesn't pertain to this match, is just when I noticed it. The announcers just have no emotion. It was like, can the champ get back into this? And then they just, Raw rolls on, and then they cut a commercial break. I don't know, man. I guess I just missed the days of JR. My God, Theory's down, and is he going to be able to get back up? And then it cuts to commercial or something like that. I mean, dadgum, is it that hard to just actually sound like you want to be there?
The wrestling world is in dire need of some good play-by-play commentators.
There's like 3, and 2 of them aren't even on major network television.
Who you thinking
of? Ian Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman.
Yeah, I like those guys. Ian's the play-by-play though, right?
Yeah, Ian's play-by-play.
I don't think color commentary is the problem. I think it's just the play-by-play that needs some reworking with all the major companies.
Yeah. I like Taz, but he's color mainly.
Michael Cole he's okay sometimes. He might be my favorite play-by-play guy at this point, man. That's sad because I hated Michael Cole. I'm still not a big Michael Cole fan, but when you line him up to other turds, I mean, he looks like the more enticing turd, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, who else? It's definitely not Corey. Definitely not Excalibur.
Well, Corey's a color guy. It's my play-by-play. Guys that actually call the action.
You think it's Patrick? I thought Corey does more.
No, it's Patrick. I don't think it's Corey, because Corey's usually the heel commentator, the color guy. That's usually. I don't think there's ever been a heel color guy, unless you count Michael Cole's little run in 2010, 2009.
I don't know. I guess maybe it is Kevin Patrick. Well, he's definitely at the bottom of the list, even worse than Excalibur. He is intolerable.
Let me bring back Morrow. I know you weren't watching at the time, but he had a lot of emotion when he was commentating.
Is that the one at NXT?
NXT, and he commentated 2016, 2017 SmackDown. He was great.
Where is he at now?
He commentates boxing and stuff like that, combat sports.
Oh, well,
that's who he was before WWE. He's good.
I can't necessarily say that I blame him either. But I don't know. I mean, think about, do people not grow up like wanting to be announcers, or does WWE just not like hire?
I think the problem is they try to emulate Michael Cole, and that's not who you should emulate.
No.
Ever. No. And I believe Michael Cole has a hand in producing all these commentators. Like, doesn't he like teach classes to these commentators in NXT when they're coming up?
Oh, I guess you're well versed on the topic more than me.
Well, he's usually on headset for NXT for the commentator, so I don't want to point the finger at Michael Cole because this is how Vince wanted him to commentate, but I don't know, man. The whole wrestling landscape needs some reworking when it comes to commentating.
Well, speaking of the wrestling world needing some reworking, Trish Stratus was out here to verse her transgressions about the women's wrestling world and the fact that she has not received enough credit. Basically, she was going over her issues with Becky and saying that Becky was taking all the claim for the women's revolution, and she never once stopped to thank Trish. And so Trish came back to be buddy with her to see if maybe that would get her to thank her, and she still didn't. So, excuse me, sorry. Trish was promptly pissed and beat her up. And I think we have two different thoughts on this here. So, honestly, I thought this was a decent promo. I enjoyed it. I thought she had a good closing line that I'm not a nostalgia act. I'm not your childhood fantasy. You know, I'm Trish Stratus. I'm the greatest women's wrestler of all time. I don't know. I didn't hate it, but maybe some of it got cut out of the Hulu version.
Hey man, I was satisfied too, but she made some valid points. She came out looking only the way she could look, and I don't know, man. I felt like it kind of droned on a little long, but it wasn't a bad promo. It's just if we could have trimmed like 2 or 3 minutes, I think it would have been a lot better. But overall, I think she did well for somebody that's not been a heel in 18 years. I mean, she handled the crowd well. She changed up her cadence and how she was talking when they started doing the what chants.
Yeah.
That's how you know she's a pro if she does that. But yeah, man, I didn't hate the segment. I thought it was fine. I was good.
You were
It gave
stratified?
I was stratified. Yeah. It gave us some valid reasons of why she did what she did last week too.
That's what I thought. If anything else, I was like, okay, I can see this. I can buy this promo of why that would genuinely make someone mad and not like, you were a bad friend to me or something stupid like that. But the
Are you buying the rumors that Becky is going Hollywood on us?
oh no.
Not buying that?
That's a work.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's people out there, you know, those random Twitter accounts out there saying she would do well in Hollywood. And she changed her handle on Twitter to her real name. It's gotta mean something, Micah.
Like Drew.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like him.
I don't know. I'm not buying that at all. I think it's just a work playing off of, you know, the internet marks and the IWC and me and my friend Mark. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think anything about it when I first saw it. I don't think there's any way Becky Lynch leaves WWE. At least definitely not in the middle of her contract. But
she has 1 year left after this.
Maybe after that, but I don't think she's going to throw a fit right now. She was just at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, she's got a kid, Micah. She's done pretty much everything there is to do in WWE as a women's performer. So I don't think it would be that out the realm of possibility that she would leave.
I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely don't think it's going to be right now.
I think she had a foot injury. That's why she wasn't at Raw.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot that part about it, too. I will not be at Raw tonight. I
didn't want to bury the lead there.
Yeah. The only thing that I didn't really like, or I guess, not that I didn't like about this segment, but it more just weighed on the back of my mind. I know this match is going to be rotten because I'm so sorry, but Trish just don't have it anymore. Oh, come on. Yes, she did. Yeah, I guess them Brown Panties matches were a delight. But we ain't having those matches in 2023, so I don't want to see it. You sly dog. Nah, her and Lita had good matches. Her and Jacqueline. Okay. Victoria. Yeah, you're right. They had some classic pudding bowl matches. Oh, I can't forget about those. We'll move on. Raw rolls on. And it moves on to the main event. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and your boy Riddle versus Judgment Day, Dominic Finn and Damian Priest. Yeah. To be honest with you, I didn't write anything down for this one. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just a 6-man tag match. I had fun watching it. I did like the post-match segment, but as you alluded to earlier, there was 18 brawls, so when you see the 17th one, you're like, well, I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a fun match, man. It's been a while since we had a 6-man tag match as the main event.
That's true.
I thought that was a nice little change up. Riddle, man, I know you hate on Riddle, but he is really good in the ring, and he always excites me when he's in there. His style is so much different than everybody else too.
He ain't winning me over. It's gonna take a while.
Hey, when he turns heel and turns into that Shawn Michaels like heel that you want him to be this whole time, you're gonna change your tune, buddy.
Well, I'll be waiting for it. Till then, he's skippable TV.
You gonna be painting your fingernails like old Riddle after that?
Yeah, I might. We can share nail polish. Well, depending, I've heard about his endeavors outside of the wrestling world. I might not want to share nail polish with him.
I'll hang out with who he's hanging out with.
Yeah, I mean, not a bad match. I don't really know what else to close it up with, to be honest with you.
Man, we dog Raw a lot, but as far as like moving stories along, they did that this week. There was a show long storyline that they had, and there was some new elements and stories that we have had after WrestleMania. So I don't know. I think this, as far as the recent Raws, I think this is one of the stronger ones.
I think the in-ring stuff was good. And you're right, it did move stories along. It did what it needed to do. Not every Raw is going to be a home run. Same with Dynamite. But I mean, it moved pretty much every major story. I would like to have seen something happen for Theory, obviously. But another story came out of that match, so I guess I can give them a pass for that. And honestly, all the matches were pretty good.
Yeah. For a Raw, man, we had like 2 or 3 that was pretty solid.
Yeah. Miz and Seth probably takes my match of the night, surprisingly.
Yeah, easily.
So, all in all, what would you give Raw a rating? I got to remember to do this for Dynamite SmackDown. We always do it for Raw, and then we don't do it for anything else.
It's because we end up talking about Dynamite for 2 hours, and we just want to get the review over with. But yeah. I don't know, man. This week, I'm going with a solid 7 for Raw. I'll go 7.
I'll meet you there. That sounds good. I mean, nothing crazy, nothing completely unwatchable. And maybe if I had to sit there for 3 hours and watch it, I would have put it a little lower. But hey, the hour and a half version, that's always a win in my book. You somehow have watched everything in the hour and a half version. I don't know how you did it. The only thing that we missed was Bianca and Dakota, and there was a women's tag match that we didn't cover either. Oh, well. Both of those are very skippable matches. About to say, shucks, I would have stuck around for those. Nah, there ain't no way. They would have been skipped anyways. It would have been an hour and a half. But it needs to be done after this too. Did anything develop with them? I know they did some stuff last week. Bianca beat Dakota Kai in a one-on-one match while Bayley and Io was at ringside. And Bayley just looked distraught and looked like she was disappointed in Dakota. She didn't try to help her in the match. So it's looking like they are going for Splitsville. And I assume that's going to be after the Io-Bianca match, which Io has no shot of beating Bianca, but it should be a good match. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, but before we get to that, we've got Dynamite SmackDown to talk about this week. So make sure to tune in later this week with us for our Dynamite SmackDown review. Make sure to check us out, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Go read our comments and watch how Ryan sets the world on fire with his bold takes. And watch people tell us that wrestling is fake and we don't know it yet. But all in all, a pretty solid start to the week. Let's hope they finish it up good. And yeah, we'll be back. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening and have a great one.